Minivan Camper Gal. I'm Kelly, and today I'm going to be reviewing this BougeRV refrigerator. BougeRV sent me this cooler to review, and it's not a sponsored video. I'm going to give my honest opinion, and we'll see what I think of it. I took it on this trip that I'm on now, but I actually haven't used it yet because it came shipped on its side. And the instructions say that if it arrives on its side or upside down, to give it 12 full hours before turning on. So I haven't really used it yet, and let's see how it works. So they sent me the pink version. There's also a couple different colors you can get.
And there's also an insulative cover that you can get for it as well.
So I just transferred all my food into the cooler from my other cooler. And I have plenty of room. Everything can go standing up. Big bottles don't have to lay down. There's really a lot of room in this thing for the overall size. A lot of times these compressor refrigerators, the actual space inside is sometimes only this big, even though the cooler is as big as it is. So I feel like this really takes advantage of the space a little bit more than other coolers do. Okay, let's see how easy it is to carry with that much food inside. It does have handles, which I like. They're not very deep, so you do kind of feel like you're hanging on by your fingertips here. But let's see if it'll fit in the front seat. It's a pretty tight fit here. If I lift up the arm of the seat here, it'll definitely fit. No problem. It says the maximum angle is 5 degrees. So it is tilted a little bit. I might have to prop it up on the bottom here if I wanted to carry it in the front seat. But let's see with the arm down, will it fit? Oh, it does. Cool. With a tiny bit of room there. So yeah, it definitely fits in the seat. How about on the floor inside? Oh, it looks close. Oh, it's so close. I can shut the door, but it's pushing on it. So maybe if you absolutely had to have it here, you could do it, but it's really tight. And could you get into it? Let's see. So we would have to go this way. Oh, it would have to go this way, and the cable's on this side. So I think that would... Yeah, it's not gonna shut. All right, so if you wanted to use it in the floorboard of the passenger seat, nah, it's not gonna happen because the plug. But you could get into it, but it couldn't be plugged in, so. Okay, so you've got one storage spot, one kind of storage spot. Will it fit between the seats? No, it's too wide to fit in between the seats, in a Pacifica anyway. So for my van build, I'll probably be keeping it in the back here behind the driver's seat. Fits very nicely here. And I have my little power socket right here. So that fits there very nicely. And I'm really curious to see how noisy it is and how often it turns on, because that's really a test at night to how much it wakes me up at night. But let's see, I'm very glad to see there's instructions taped on here, because there's a lot of different things that you need to remember. So press this, hold for 3 seconds to turn it on. Okay, it's at 50 degrees. Now I can switch between max and Eco. I'll put it on max for now. I can change the temperature. You want it below 40 degrees Fahrenheit for the refrigerator temperature. Press and hold these two to switch between Fahrenheit and Celsius. Press and hold this 3 seconds to switch protection mode. So this goes between high, medium, and low, which is protection for your battery. So basically this means how much power do you want left in your battery. If you want a high amount left in your battery, like if it's plugged into the car, then you leave it on high. If it's plugged into a power bank, then it can go down really low and it'll be fine. So you can put it on low here. Also has a little USB thing if you wanted to charge your phone. So pretty easy. I like this. There's no app that comes with it, which is nice if you're laying in bed or something and you want to turn the fridge off, that sort of thing. But so no app, that's a con. And the top also has this sort of real glassy type finish, which I kind of don't like because it shows fingerprints really easily. You can't really see it here, but especially if you're out camping and your hands are grubby at all, I imagine this could need to be cleaned off quite often. The cooler itself is pretty cool, so I imagine that cover is pretty important for this cooler because it seems to be kind of losing a lot of coolness to the outside here. As far as the sound goes, just from what I can hear right now, it does have quite a big kick when it turns on. That's the thing that, you know, jolts you from your sleep. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad in the seat because the floors are kind of like a little bit of a drum. They're hollow underneath. So there's that. The running sound of it is actually pretty quiet. I think it's quieter than my other cooler, but I think they're probably pretty comparable. I don't know if you can really get away with, you know, a silent cooler of this type. But BougeRV, if you're watching, if you can make it quieter and not kick and make a big sound when it first turns on, that would be good. And an app would be nice to be able to monitor it. It does get down to -4 degrees, which is enough to keep frozen items totally frozen solid, like ice cream, things like that. But I think they probably compromised on the storage space inside versus the insulative material on the outside. Because the lid is quite cold. It's maybe not quite as well insulated as some of the other coolers, but I think what you gain with that is a bigger storage size for the overall size of the cooler. So I think that's a valid trade-off. I guess it depends on your battery size though. But you know, it doesn't use much power at all. So if you have enough battery, for me, I would rather have the storage space inside. It does have a 2-year warranty, which is great. So I feel like you're definitely covered, and with a well-known company, so that if anything does go wrong, there's at least a solid company behind the cooler. So for me, the size, you know, is really great. It's about the same size width-wise as smaller coolers, just a little bit longer, but a ton more space. So that's really great. So I'll let you know how it does during the night.
So now that I've spent a few days and nights with this cooler, here are my final thoughts about it. It has a pretty loud kick when it turns on, so I do still have to wear earplugs when sleeping. But the running noise is very quiet, so it is less noticeable during the day than my other cooler. It seems to lose a bit of its cool to the outside, but surprisingly, it turns on less often than my other, smaller cooler. I definitely recommend getting the insulative jacket to maximize its performance. The instructional sticker makes it really easy to understand the functions. Unfortunately, there's no phone app, so you do have to control it manually. I love that it has handles. Even though they're small, it's still really easy for me to carry. I think the size is perfect for a minivan, and the space inside is really impressive. All in all, I think this is a great cooler. So if you decide you want to give it a try, there are some discount codes in the description. I hope this video was helpful to you, and hit the green button to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.